All right, we are here with Jamie Shannon, creator of Nanalan and
Hello.
Mr. Meaty and a few other things. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Oh, well, I'm Jamie.
I kind of just gave the summary, didn't I?
Human from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I've only done puppets pretty much my whole career. It's been great. Keep on going. People love them again. It's funny, when I started my career in the 90s, before computer graphics were just kind of rising, and then everything was computer graphics, and now everybody got bored of it and they want monsters and puppets again.
Yeah, films.
So, life's good that way.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of respect for, especially some of like the bigger, higher budget stop motion films at this point, like Kubo. A lot of people were raving about the animation in that film, and something like Anomalisa that isn't even high budget, but is just so impressive. And
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Anomalisa?
Anomalisa. You have to see it.
Anomalisa.
Please see it. What inspired you to start working with puppets?
You know, my parents were Halloween costume people, so there's lots of pictures of them in alien suits or cavemen, so I kind of picked up that mantle. And then I used to make these huge Halloween setups, and then I started making creatures. I'm from the creature era. I'm from the Yoda time of the world, so, you know, Muppets and Yoda. Jim Henson was a huge inspiration. And when I was 19, just deciding what to do, Jim Henson passed away, and I was just like, wow, well, that guy had a great influence. I love making monsters and puppets, so off I went. My Nana was also an inspiration.
Oh, yeah?
The Nana that is Nanalan, she was a sewer, so she used to make clothing for everybody. So I kind of picked up sewing. You know, I learned to sew things. I used to make stuffed animals and stuff as a kid. So she was the kind of creative inspiration when I was young.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Your first show was called The Grogs. Could you tell us about how you started the project and how you wound up getting it on the air?
YTV? That was pretty lucky. Well, you know what's funny? Our mime teacher was on a show called Fraggle Rock. And I don't know, this must have directly infested me. I realized after they were called the Gorgs. So then it wasn't a direct connection, but she was one of the Gorgs, and then I created the Grogs. And the Grogs, that was my troupe right after, like, I was just like, I'm going to be a puppeteer and make up a troupe of puppets, call them the Grogs. Started sewing some, and then the plan was to go do birthday party business to get through university, go to university for film. And I did one library show, and then a film. A friend got a job as a PJ. You remember the PJs? YTV PJs? PJ Rob, PJ Rockin' Shan, PJ Jazzy Jam.
I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but
Fresh
I can't.
Phil.
I don't remember. I'm trying. What year was that?
Anyways.
That was
sort
like
of
90,
like early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s.
Early 90s.
I'm a 91 baby.
You're a 91
Yeah.
baby?
So
There you go. Well, so anyway, I went on them on that channel with puppets, and we used to do it every half hour. It was to replace the commercials during the day, because CRT's licensing, they couldn't have commercials. So I was puppeteering every half an hour, improvised puppeteering. So I really kind of developed my weird style doing it that way as well.
How did Nanalan come to be? I know you said that one of the inspirations for your starting puppetry was your Nana, but also the show.
Yeah, my Nana, Agnes Peters, she obviously is an inspiration. She used to have this backyard, and I called it Nanaland. It was sort of like a Nana backyard with whirligigs, and Sylvesters with propeller legs, and bird feeders, and garden gnomes, and flowers. So that was just sort of like a zone that we were in as a kid. And when you're a kid, something that's this big is this big. So it really was a world. So then I was at YTV PJing, like with the people I mentioned. And then they offered us a 3-minute show. And I said, well, how about Nanalan? And then
that's crazy.
We made a bunch of 3 minutes. We didn't have to hand in scripts. We didn't have to get, like usually there's so much red tape and bureaucracy between a creator and doing something, but we just got to do it. So what was special about it is that my idea was to improvise it because the energy of it is from just kind of like jumping in the moment. And it's very odd because of that.
Yeah.
But I also was able to just kind of like we would literally just count them down. Like, let's go. It's the 2 puppets and a dragonfly. You got 3 minutes. And then
that's awesome.
We'd count down the 3 minutes, and then that's what you get.
Yeah, there's a lot of long takes in that show that I've noticed.
Yes.
It's just
long
like,
takes, empty moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's kind of like this weird, bizarre, awkward humor almost. Like something that I'm not sure what the intended age group for the show was initially. So like toddler kind of, or like young.
It was supposed to be
or...
extreme preschool, but I kind of do things for everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of the energy of the show is still humorous to this day for me. I find it really, really entertaining and really funny.
Thanks. I'm proud. I'm proud of Nanalan.
That's awesome.
I could have retired.
What I saw when I was younger were the in-between show kind of segments. And then I wound up discovering later online something that I didn't see on TV when I was younger. And it was kind of like there was like a different design for the puppets.
Yeah,
like
the
there was a slightly different. Yeah, there was a
CBC.
half-hour version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never actually saw that. That was only on CBC and not YTV.
There's a treasure trove of those. I think there's 23 or 42 half hours of Nanalan. And they're quite good. That's where all the Mr. Wooka puppet shows are. It's a little... I truly love the raw 3-minute ones.
Yeah.
That Nana.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Yeah, that Nana, like that kind of like half accidental, can't afford to make a nice puppet kind of magic.
Yeah.
The CBC ones, it's crisper, cleaner, and she speaks, unfortunately. That's what the CBC wanted her to speak proper English, and I really loved her baby talk.
Yeah, that's part of the magic.
Yeah,
of it,
that's part of the
isn't
magic.
it?
I know. Those are the things that get hard to hold on to when you get to network television. But it's out there. One day, I will release these Nanolans, and there's a lot of fun in them.
Release them, as in maybe online or Netflix or...
Yeah, I gotta figure out how.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Well, I think there's like a suggestions feature on Netflix where you can submit a show that you would like them to include. So if people want to do that, and that might happen. If you want to just I'll include a link in the description. You can put Nanalan.
Yeah, see, your world, that's the internet world, which is the real world that everybody loves right now.
It's kind of the real world.
It is the real world. You can't translate it to the networks. Like, I've been to them. I meet the networks every couple of years. I go, how about Nanalan? And they're like, oh, But they don't realize the underground popularity of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the real popularity.
Well, have you ever... I guess along those lines, have you ever considered maybe creating or crowdfunding like a Nanalan web series or something, like short 3-minute things to upload on YouTube that could be funded through Patreon or something?
I would love to. I mean, my plan is to start a Patreon. My challenge with Nanalan is with there's Nana, my partner Jason, who I made it with. There's Jack, who made the music. And... it's there's a lot of people to get involved if I do it.
Yeah, that's true.
If it was just me, I'd be doing it right away. I'm dying to. Like I love Nanalan, and I'm still although I'm a little older, she's not.
Yeah.
She's just my hand.
So I'm not sure if many people who have seen it realize this, but you are listed as the voice credit for Mona, the little girl.
True. That's
That's insane. That's awesome.
It's me. Yeah, I did. I did thousands of hours of falsetto. La la la.
And you were controlling the puppet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then basically the respective voice actors would control the puppet of whoever they're.
I think it's best.
Yeah.
It's often done not that way.
Yeah.
But that's all. I was very much. I was like, there's no computer graphics in this. It's all natural, all improvised. Yeah. I was some kind of, media vegan.
So how do you feel about the overall resurgence in popularity for Nanalan and how it's kind of taken on the form of this bizarre internet meme?
It is pretty wild. I love it. I love it. I think what I like is that kind of deserves it because it was the real thing. It was for my amazing Nana, who I loved. I knew I was making something quite unique there, and I was like, I want to find the essence of creativity or curiosity, and it has it, and then people still appreciate it now. I kind of love it. I hope it doesn't become a pepe.
Yeah, hopefully. It is. I would consider it to be like even experimental in a sense, because you don't really find anything else that aired on television quite like it. Really, it's its own unique thing.
Hey,
and
thanks.
I appreciate that.
Thanks. I mean, that's what I try to do. I invent it each time I do something. Mr. Meaty's getting a weird popularity too.
I never actually caught that when I was younger, but there were people on my subreddit talking about it.
Yeah.
You recently worked on a project called The Legend of Rasputin, a short film.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about that?
Well, I made I wanted to do something totally the opposite. I like to try new things every time. I just found Rasputin very fascinating. He's kind of the first infamous star. He's the first Trump or Rob Ford or these people that people can't stop talking about, and they become huge because of that. So I kind of became fascinated in that kind of character, and I just wrote this little short film for Heather Henson, and it's doing really well. We won 2 awards at Dragon Con.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, best animation, best short or something like that. Yeah.
So when it comes to short films, I know that there's a lot that exists that people in my audience want to see, but they're not exactly sure how they can even get a hold of them. Are there any plans for any kind of like distribution for that film, or are you planning on maybe a web release? I know that a lot of these things wind up just becoming like a special feature in like a related product that would be on DVD or something.
Yeah, it'll be probably with Ibex. Heather Henson, who is Jim Henson's daughter, she's kind of really taken the grassroots of puppetry, so she gives these grants for short films and grants for puppet slams. She's sort of like feeding that bottom end, so it's now in their latest set of films. So they may be releasing a DVD, but it's also traveling with that set of films. Well, there's one by Toby Froud in it as well, who's the son of the Frouds. You know who those are?
No.
They used to make the fairies. They what's it called? The Dark Crystal. They made all the creatures in the Dark Crystal.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So their son is an amazing fairy creature maker.
Do you watch any internet media or any content creators on YouTube?
Way too much. Yes.
Yeah? Any like specific channels or anything that
I enjoy yours.
you enjoy?
I enjoy your.
Thank you.
I enjoy your reviews.
I appreciate it.
I like. I got really into the culture wars.
Yeah.
I found that very fascinating. The way that was battled out, but and then I just kind of like. I like kind of like intellectuals, like and who I don't know. I also like writers and like I'm not very good at remembering the names of anything though. But just like philosophy or people who really break down writing. There's this great Irish girl who's just great with story structure.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm not.
I know a channel. I think it's called like Behind the Screenplay. It's like a channel that kind of breaks down writing in film specifically.
Yeah, I love those kind. I love those kind.
Like essay style channels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any job on a film set or TV set that you feel doesn't get the credit that it deserves?
Huh. Wow.
Is there anything that you feel is underappreciated in
Well, writing a film is one of the hardest things you could possibly do. So I really think that although it gets a fair bit of respect, does need. It is just that is an art that most things you can be good at when you're young. That's one of the things that you just get better at as you get older. So it's nice that it still is this thing that really takes a huge honing of the craft. But I mean, it's a huge team, and I think everybody deserves more respect who's behind the scenes. I mean, actors get so much. They have the award shows and all these things.
They're the most noticeable.
They're the most noticeable.
People who, may not understand how many people are actually behind a project.
But making a film, sound. I would say that sound, the whole sound is the other half of a film, but it's made such that it's invisible.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it is, you feel it with every single shot, every single moment of the film, but you're never supposed to notice it.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's just sort of like this invisible half of films. And if you're a filmmaker, you learn how valuable having a good mic is, and then a musician who can score. Like, so many movies are scored so poorly.
Yep.
And it's just really, I think it needs a lot more attention. It's 50%.
Yeah, oftentimes, I guess to kind of go off what you were saying with sound design, oftentimes someone who's doing the best job is noticed the least.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, if you're going to do especially like Foley work, you want to not know that it's Foley.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, it's an invisible art.
And I guess to wrap this up, what is your best advice for young filmmakers wanting to get their first projects off the ground, or creating a project, getting it greenlit, or however they want to?
It always comes like from everywhere, so it's never a direct route. So I really think doing it, because you can now. You can do it on your phone. You can do it, and then the opportunities that each thing you do will give you are also completely invisible too. You just have no idea.
Yeah.
You just do something, and then the next thing that is the opportunity will present itself, and then you can do that, and then you can do that. But now we can just do it. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that's the way. Like, don't spend a lot of time in school. Don't spend a lot of time reading books. Do it. Make it.
Experience.
Trial
and error.
Yeah, trial and error.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Creator of Nanalan. Check out the show Nanalan. Check out my video on Nanalan. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, good video on Nanalan.
Thank
That
you.
is a very truly funny video.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really bizarre one that I made. I was just essentially just
That was you and your pals, I guess, actually watching it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It sparked that video. Essentially, was just us doing that one night.
Really?
And like, this is hilarious. Like, we haven't seen the show in like a few years, and just decided to do it, and turned into that.
That is my goal, like hilarity beyond. I like when people lose their mind laughing.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.